Hi everyone, today's video is going to be about microaggressions within the workplace. A definition of a microaggression would be a type of oppressive behavior or saying that someone says upon someone else. So there's different types of responding to microaggressions, which I'm going to list upon within this video, and also drop links of two of the sources that I use to reflect on said types of microaggressions. For responding to microaggressions within the workplace, I find that some of the responsive behaviors that stuck out to me was challenging the stereotype, breathing before stating what you want to say to respond to those types of stereotypes, whether it be from a bystander position or the target person, which the target person would be the person taking in the microaggression. Another thing would be stating or paraphrasing what the person said, what the oppressive person said for the microaggression, which would be for it helpful in the sense of two different people, the target person and also a bystander. So it's possible that the bystander might have just come in on the end of the microaggression and they could have said to the oppressor, well, I think I heard you say this. Is that correct? Is that what you were meant to say? And what that would then do is make the bystander think about how they would want to respond, or the target person think about how they wanted to respond. Another thing that I think would be very effective for people to know is sharing their own process. In terms of saying, like, I used to say that was so gay, or I used to say that was something that I only thought black people do. In terms of saying, like, I used to think this way, but then I learned that this would be a better way of thinking about that type of behavior. Also, challenging the stereotype would be an effective way of responding. By challenging the stereotype, it gets people thinking and it gives them more information about own experiences or alternative perspectives to the stereotype. So you can say, I think that is a stereotype, and I learned from saying that's so gay, or other types of microaggressions, that you want to be careful with the phrasing of the words that you use, or think about what you say before you say those certain set aggressions. The two of the sources that I came up with for preparing this video would be from it's aacap.org, which is American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, which is they quote Diane Goodman's Promoting Diversity and Social Justice, Educating People from Privileged Groups, which educates people not only from privileged groups, but also gives a mindset of how you would respond to set microaggressions. Also, from a Thurber and D'Angelo text, it states that microaggressions create hostile climates for members of oppressive groups. They also state that we can train ourselves to become more aware of our internal frameworks, which includes implicit biases and assumptions, as well as our external behaviors. This replies to the social work field in the sense that if you're a bystander, you're thinking of, how do I want to value this person or show empathy toward this target person who is experiencing this microaggression and is feeling that the environment is not a climate that's very welcoming for them. With also sharing their own experiences, it helps to prepare persons for how do you prevent microaggressions from happening before. Which then goes into another one of the responding tips, in the sense of you would want to think about the elements of the microaggression that is being said. So in terms of the elements, that would be, who said that microaggression? Was it a supervisor, or was it a clientele, or was it a family member of a coworker? Also, was it the first time that person brought up a microaggression towards you? That would also help someone think, okay, if this is the first time the microaggression is being brought up, maybe I want to just calm down and not really respond to it and not really let it bother me as much. Or if it's a second or third time, maybe I should kind of step up and kind of respond to that microaggression. Also, who was in the room? So was it just you and the oppressive person, you meaning the target person, and the oppressive person? Or was there a bystander, or is there also going to be at some point a middle person that wants to come into listening to what was said in terms of that microaggression and working on a kind of middle ground to say, use I statements, I felt this, or I didn't like this, or I would appreciate if this happened, instead of using you statements, which seems like it's blaming the other person. So you did this, you made me feel this way, you did something that hurt my feelings, you are saying these words that are not really true, you are affecting LGBTQ persons by saying this stereotype of people are so gay, or that behavior was so gay. So microaggressions within the workplace, we want to try and keep that to a minimum, or at least I feel in my perspective that people should keep it to a minimum, because it doesn't really help anyone in a sense. It just makes people feel bad about themselves, or sometimes feel that they can't come to respond within certain types of behaviors that are occurring. For other effective ways, there is the Huffington Post, which is where I came up with the client who had the microaggression of "you are so smart" that came from a coworker. And there's also being able to show your own processes of microaggressions from the aacap.org text. So the D'Angelo text, that text, those two websites were pretty much some perspectives of who could be responding to microaggressions, whether it be the target person or the bystander. Also, Psychology Today brings up some of the microaggressions brought up by two different groups of people. There's two different groups of people, meaning LGBTQ persons and minority women within the places of business. I see a lot that minority women especially receive a lesser pay grade than a lot of their counterparts that have pretty much either the same education or an even better education in some parts. So that, I felt Psychology Today did touch upon a very good thing of who experiences those microaggressions and why is it very important to have tips to show you how to respond to microaggressions within the workplace. This is it for today's video. Hope you got a good amount of effective tips to help you out. If not, we can always do more research and talk about some of the more effective tips of how to respond to microaggressions.